Hello, welcome back. This is my Ford Bronco Scale Crawler. I've had it for years. Years and years. I actually built it before this channel even existed. It's made out of spare bits that I had lying around. And the donor car was a 7 RCing rock crawler, which was essentially, in fact it wasn't even essentially, it was an orange Maverick Scout that came with 4-wheel steering, selectable in the transmitter. Apart from that, it was a Maverick Scout. It's been a great little truck. This thing is the very definition of greater than the sum of its parts because, you know, mechanically speaking, this thing is a dog. You know, it is an absolute dog. It has the gearbox from the 7 RCing rock crawler, or the Maverick Scout, if you like. The axles, servo mount, Maverick Scout. I think one of the drive shafts is from the Maverick Scout. The other one is a metal one I got off of eBay. This chassis is a RC off-road. I think it was called RC off-road uni chassis, which is a sort of lather scaler type chassis. Which, if you left it alone, it was about that length. If you left it alone, the standard link cylinder would fit straight on from the Maverick Scout, and then it becomes a scaler, and that's it. But at the time I knew nothing about trail trucks and crawlers, etc. It was completely new to me. I saw this Tamiya Ford Bronco body shell. I decided I wanted it. I didn't know that the standardised wheelbase was 313mm. I didn't know that Tamiya ones are smaller, they're more like 1/12. So I bought this chassis, and the wheelbase was completely wrong, and the links wouldn't even mount up. Or if you did make the links mount up, the drive shafts wouldn't reach, they would just fall out, and it was all just a big mess. And so I spent many months experimenting, and I literally used bits I had lying around. It cost me, I mean, on top of the price of the rock crawler I already had, which I didn't really like. I mean, the rock crawler was fine, functionally it was fine, but it being a, you know, one of those things that has almost, you know, you could articulate it so the axles are almost at 90 degrees to each other. It was very high centre of gravity, very floppy. It rolled around like a footballer. And I didn't really enjoy it much. This is actually better at general climbing than that was, just because this doesn't roll around all over the place, and the centre of gravity is much lower, even though it's got way less clearance because the wheels on the crawler were huge. You can see here, it's just a mess of bits. I literally built it with spare bits and a really blunt hacksaw. So there's all bits of carbon fibre that have been chopped up. The chassis has been chopped. Some of the members have been chopped. That alloy stuff, the anodized stuff, is parts of the old chassis. The old battery trays, what I've stuck the electronics to. It is just a mongrel. It's an absolute dog of a thing. And it looks awful. It's worth basically nothing, but it's been really good over the years. It has crawled basically over anything I asked of it, reasonably. Matthew has a first generation FTX Outback, but a heavily modified one, and this can keep up with it all day long. There are certain situations where this is better than the Outback. There are certain situations the Outback is better than this. Certainly when it comes to crawling over a single object, this blows the Outback into the weeds. It's so much better. Come across a log or whatever, this will get over it. In fact, this is better at getting over a single log because of the very close wheelbase, very short wheelbase with the wheels close together. It's better at crawling over a single object like a log than even my G-made Komodo is. So I mean, there's that. Yeah, it's been good. It's been good fun. But it's kind of redundant now because, okay, I've got my G-made Komodo double cab, see that? GSO2, and then I don't know if you can see it, but behind me is my HPI Venture, which is my newest truck. I don't really see a situation where I ever use this again. So I thought, well, why not find maybe like a parent and child who want to get into the RC hobby, or maybe there's a dad who has his own RC truck or is into the hobby and has like a young kid who isn't and kind of wants one, or but isn't sure if they're going to stick with the hobby, because you don't want to spend £300-400 on an axial to find that your child isn't interested after first run. They just go, nah, I'd rather play my games console or whatever. Or maybe like a family who don't have much money. I was like, well, I would love to give this away to certainly a young person who would like to go out with their dad or their mum or whoever and just have a family bonding experience and have a good time with it. So that was my plan. And when lockdown was over, my plan was, because in case you're obviously from different parts of the world, people who view these videos, Scotland right now, in fact the UK right now, the lockdown rules are you can't travel between county borders or can't cross county borders unless you have a genuine reason to do so. Work critical reason or a health critical reason or family critical reason to cross. You can't just go for a drive and go, I'm giving someone one of these, it wouldn't count. So I noticed somebody on the RC, one of the Scottish RC crawling forums or groups, saying that look, they're looking for a cheap RC truck, trail truck to give to their son, but again, a very cheap one because they weren't sure if they would take to the hobby properly. So I said to them, sure, I have this one, you can have it for free, and when lockdown's over, feel free to come along and you can have it, no problem. Problem is, made a bit of a mistake. I don't know how I managed to do it, but I thought the guy in question was from the Edinburgh area, which is not too far from where I am really, only an hour's drive maybe. But he's not. I don't know who I clicked on, but it wasn't him. He's from Shetland. So if you don't know, maybe you're not from the UK or you're not familiar with the geography, Shetland isn't even on the Scottish mainland. Yeah, so he's not exactly going to drive over. So, but he got in touch and said, look, I can cover the postage if you're willing to, if you're really willing to give away the truck, I'll cover the postage. So we came to a deal and I booked the postage today. And so this truck will be going over to James and his son Ashton from Shetland, and this will be Ashton's first RC truck or first RC trail truck anyway. Great place to do it, by the way. Shetland is a beautiful place, really beautiful island, and there's lots and lots of rugged terrain there. So I'm sure you'll have a good time with it. And Ashton, I really hope you enjoy the truck. I'm going to tidy up the wiring before I post it over, because I was very yeehaw cowboy with the way I used to do wiring and stuff, and it's just loose tape rather than heat shrinker, etc. So I'm going to tidy that up a little bit. But guys, Ashton, James, enjoy it. Go nuts. You don't need to look after it. If you want to sacrifice it for bits, go ahead. If you want to modify it like crazy, go ahead. If you want to rip bits off it for another truck, go ahead. If you want to bash the shell to pieces, go ahead. The most important thing is you just have a good time, and I hope it brings happy memories to you, Ashton, and I hope you can climb and chase your dad's axial, which I know he's got, and see if you can keep up with it a little bit. And maybe if you enjoy it enough, maybe one day you'll get a really nice truck like his as well. In the meantime, go nuts, enjoy it. And that's it, guys. That's the last time you will see my Ford Bronco Scale Crawler. It's had a really good run on this channel. Thank you very much to everybody who's commented on it over the years. People have been very supportive of the videos I've made with this. Hasn't had huge none of my videos get huge view numbers, but even in that context, this hasn't had huge view numbers. But the people who do comment and do see it seem to think, that's not a bad little truck actually. So thank you for that. Thank you for that rather. And to leave you, I'm going to make a little montage of some of the best times I've had of this truck. And so, enjoy it, and I'll see you later. Take care. Bye-bye.
what mine. That's what mine does. Yeah, it's a bit low in the middle. I think it could do with a bit of a ride height adjust.
Yeah.
Oh no way.
I'll have to put this camera down. Hey, thank you.
There you go.
And it gets to the leaves. Oh, I want to win something. Just one thing. I want to win one thing.